Good morning. Lesson 3-4. Let me tell you, if you can do lesson 3-3, you can do lesson 3-4 because it's the exact same process. So we're going to skip a bunch of stuff like drawing pictures. We're not going to do that today. We're going to go to page 168 at the bottom, and we're just going to take the problem and we're going to do it by hand without all the pictures, okay? Here's what we do. Same as we did before. Leave the first number the same, then multiply by the reciprocal. 3/8 is going to be 8/3. I'm going to show you a little way to simplify it here in a minute, but let's just do this the normal way first. 3 times 8, 24. 4 times 3, 12. What's 24 divide 12? 2. Okay, and that way will work unless they ask you to simplify it and it's not a whole number. Then you're going to want to pay attention. So we're just going to rewrite it. Now we're going to think about stuff. So across from each other, do these guys share a factor? Yes, they share a 2. I'm going to show you why this works here in a second. It's going to be a little confusing, but someday you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember in 6th grade Miss D said that. Okay, so 8 and 4 share 4 as a factor. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. 3 and 3 share a factor. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. And now, when we do our multiplication, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 2/1 is 2. Why do it beforehand? Because often simplifying these smaller numbers is easier than doing it later. This one was easy, so I know that makes no sense now, but I promise it will get more complicated. Here's why this works. Here's why this works. You can multiply in any order you want. You know that. Okay, so we really have 3 times 8. 4 times 3. That's also equal to 3 times 8 and 3 times 4. Okay, what's 3 divided by 3? 1. So these cancel each other out. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. Because 8 divided by 4 was 2, 4 divided by 4 was 1, and 2 divided by 1 is 2. I know that's a little complicated and it went fast. I don't really want to explain a lot of this today, but you'll get into it as you move further along in math. But there's a reason why we do this. Learn to do that now. So let's practice it. I wish they wouldn't put this here because that's where I want to show my work. So let's just rewrite it. Okay. Can you guys see okay? Leave the first one the same. Then multiply by the reciprocal, which means flip the second one upside down. Then we can look. Do 7 and 2 share a factor? No. Both are prime. Do 9 and 3? They share a 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then if we multiply straight across, 7 times 1 is 7, and 3 times 2 is 6. 7 divided by 6 is 1 and 1/6. Simplified. Now, if we didn't simplify, you don't have to do this one. I'm just going to show you. 7 times 3 over 9 times 2. 7 times 3 was 21 over 18. Then you get stuck with this. Now you got to do 21 divide 18. And you get, oh, it goes in once, 3. 18ths left over, and then I got to simplify 3/18, which is 1 and 1/6. It's just a little more complicated. Simplifying beforehand is often easier. I want math to be easier in the long run for you, so that's why we're teaching you how to simplify before you do the math. Okay, let's go. Let's try this check on page 170. Jasmine is mixing paint colors. She has 3/4 gallon of blue paint. She needs 1/6 gallon for each new color that she's mixing. So she's going to take this Divide it by that. Write and solve an equation that models a situation. Okay, then solve. Okay, leave the first one the same, multiply by the reciprocal. 1 and 3 don't share a factor other than 1, but 6 and 4 do. They share a 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9 over 2. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. In case you're like, what? 2 goes into 9 4 times. 1 left over. Your divisor becomes the denominator. Okay? Interpret it. Jasmine can make 4 new colors and will have some paint, the blue kind, left, whoopsies, over. Okay. Page 172, write a story context for this. I'm not. We're going to go through the algorithm. 5 over 6 times the reciprocal, 12 over 1. 5 and 1 don't share anything, but 12 and 6 do. They can be divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 6 divided by 6 is 1. This is another reason why knowing your multiplication table is important, because it makes math easier. 5 times 2, 10. 1 times 1, 1. Answer 10. Here's a story you could say for this. If you had 5/6 of a gallon of orange juice and you needed 1/12 of a gallon to fill little cups, how many little cups could you fill? 10 of them. That's what that means. Okay? Let's go to page 174 and try this check real quick. Stephanie's running schedule is shown in the table. She decides that she wants to do sprint training and will run the total distance by running a series of 1/10 mile sprints. How many more 1/10 mile sprints will she have to run on weekends compared to weekdays? So we've got to take the weekends and the weekdays and divide it by her sprint distance, and then we can compare those totals. Okay, so let's do weekdays. 2/3 divided by 1/10. 2/3 times 10 over 1. Multiply by the reciprocal. 2 and 1 don't share a factor. 3 and 10 don't share a factor. So 2 times 10 is 20. 3 times 1 is 3. 20 divided by 3. Here's how you can use your calculator for this. 20 divide 3 is 6, and some left over. 6 times 3 is 18, and 20 minus 18 is 2 over your original denominator. Okay, weekend, she's got 7/8. She's going to divide that by 1/10, which means 7/8 times 10 over 1. 7 and 1 don't share a factor, but 8 and 10 do. They share a 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then we can multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. 4 times 1 is 4. 35. Divide 4 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 35 minus 32 is 3. If that part was confusing, do it old school. Three is now the divisor, or the numerator. The divisor becomes the dividend. Oops. Good thing I did that, or I would have had the wrong answer. Goodness. Okay, now, the question says, how many more sprints will she have to run on weekends compared to weekdays? Well, this one is bigger, so we've got to subtract them. Do you remember how to subtract these from elementary school? They have to have same denominator. So 4 and 3 will have 12 as a denominator. This is equivalent fractions, just like equivalent rates that we did way back in Module 1. How do you get from 3 to 12? Times by 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. How did you get from 4 to 12? Times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Then these numbers come down. 9 twelfths minus 8 twelfths is 1 twelfth, and 8 minus 6 is 2. More sprints. I know that was fast, but you can rewind and pause me as needed. All right, good luck.